Real estate agents. I'm not one of you. I'm an investor, but I get a lot of leads that are a better fit for you. So do a lot of other investors. PlutusLeads.com is a marketplace that connects investors to agents. As an agent, go, sign up, costs you absolutely nothing. If you want to have a conversation and ask questions, call the phone number, speak to me directly. PlutusLeads.com today.
Hello, Matt.
Oh, hello.
So
Today, let's just go over a bunch of stories that people have posted and kind of see what we can find online.
yeah, I know some of them were kind of like super boring. People were like, "Hey, like this one time I hung some sheetrock, and it was just a little out of square, and I had to go to the homeowner and just say, hey, your framers didn't do a good job on this.' And I mean, damn, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, the process of going through all these really shows you how horribly unprofessional and what's the right word? What's the fucking word?
Illiterate.
Illiterate. Sure, let's go with illiterate. Just how stupid so many real estate professionals are. Like when they're saying, this is the craziest thing that happened to me, and it's completely fucking normal.
And it's
so
not
what that
crazy.
tells me is you've never done anything. That's what you're saying. As hung some drywall one time. Yeah, this one was pretty good. It's short, but showing a townhouse from the 70s, had no updating, real fixer-upper. The weird thing was a rectangle cut out of the carpet. It was a 3 foot by 6 foot rectangle, and didn't really think much about it because everything had to be redone anyways. At closing, the buyer was 98% done signing all the paperwork when I decided to ask the seller what was up with the rectangle of carpet being cut out of the living room. And matter of fact, he says, oh, well, that's just where my wife rolled off the couch and died. Nobody realized she was dead for a few months, so they had to cut the carpet out to clean up all the goo. She had just fully rotted, laying there on the floor.
So, and maybe I don't know a ton about it, but as far as like the legality disclosures, and people die all the time. People die in houses all the time. I don't think you have to disclose it unless it's something that would be determined like a stigma, like, like a murder or like, because I heard you don't even have to report like suicides. And again, full discretion, not an attorney. Just,
yeah.
I want to start with that.
Because I thought it was state by state. Like some states do have a disclosure where you have to tell them. If you know of a death that has happened in the house, I don't know why it's in my head, but Florida pops into my head as a state with a disclosure.
If any state doesn't have a disclosure, it would be Florida.
Well, let's look it up.
Florida's lawless. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm curious. It's a good thing to look up if you have to actually like report like a death. My understanding, and I haven't, the last time that I went through becoming a realtor, it was back in 2007. It was anything that determined a stigma, which is totally up to interpretation, though.
It is. I was right. It's state by state.
Yeah.
All right. California must disclose. Alaska must disclose. I'm not going to go through all 50 states, but it looks like it's
Must
pretty much
disclose
50-50.
what, though?
A death in the house that you know of.
Just any death.
If somebody died, you have to disclose that you know of a death on the property, even if it was years before. Like for me, my house, a lady fell down the basement stairs and died a few years before we moved in.
Yeah.
So Tennessee is not a disclosure state. But if we were in California, I know that woman died there prior to me purchasing it, so I would have to disclose that.
Gotcha. That's interesting. Because, I mean, what are the chances of like almost like every home or just a large number?
Any house that's been around for more than a couple
years?
of decades,
Yeah.
like that's all it takes is a couple of decades.
Yeah, somebody's eventually going to have to die in the house.
Well, if people end up dying of old age, usually they end up on home hospice, so
Yeah.
they're going to end up in their own living room. And they're
So
gonna
did
die
you
there.
find Tennessee in there?
I didn't look for Tennessee.
So look for Tennessee because I thought Tennessee was like disclosed based on a stigma. And I'm just more curious
I
than
don't
anything.
think, no, it's not. No, Tennessee does not require sellers to disclose deaths when selling. This includes homicides, suicides, and felonies.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, you don't have to tell them.
You don't have to tell them. So even if it's just like a guy, like, because this happened kind of like just a couple miles from here, where the guy, cut up his mom and dad because like he didn't get his way, and then tried to like blend up his mom.
Yeah.
And, like try
You
to
don't have
like,
to disclose that.
You don't have to disclose that. Is
No.
what you're saying.
Full market value.
You're just like,
Yeah, it's fine. No, you don't have to disclose any of that. We're in Tennessee.
woo!
Because I just
Rocky
assume
Top, baby.
every house I've ever lived in, people have died in. Because every house I've ever lived in was old as hell. Like they were all built in the 50s or before. So
Yeah. I don't think it would bother me too much.
It doesn't bother
if I knew
me.
or didn't know.
yeah, I don't tell my kids.
Everybody's got to die.
Yeah, but it's just a part of it. Because I know my neighbor's grandparents built my house. They died in that house, and then the people that lived there before, she fell down the stairs and she died in the basement at the foot of the stairs. I just don't tell my kids about it so
Yeah.
that they don't have bad dreams. We're good.
About walking down the stairs.
Yeah, that's it.
So what's our next story? We got another good one.
Let's see.
One time I was painting. And some paint dropped on the floor.
Oh shit, that is
damn, it was crazy.
That is crazy.
I've been doing this for 10 years, and one time, I got some paint on the carpet. It just would not come up no matter what I did. I mean, it was horrible.
All right, this is kind of a long-winded one, but it is a good story, so I'm going to try to shorten it. So this person is not a realtor, but happened when they were selling their first home. Super excited, wanting to get offers, blah, blah, blah. Guy shows up in a full three-piece suit just after work, mid-30s, clean cut, well put together, educated, to come look at the house. Walks in, gets to the foyer, and his agent says, do you happen to have any cats? And seller explained that they had one cat, but she's indoor-outdoor, so I just shoo her around during showings, and she's just probably hanging out in the backyard. It's at this point the buyer goes white, and he aggressively stutters, so there is a cat somewhere around the house. Where is it? And the seller says, I don't know. It's a cat. She's just around.
Just does whatever.
The guy... so then the seller says, do you have like allergies or something? And he angrily said no. And then he turned on his heel without another word and ran down the driveway to his car and just threw gravel leaving. And his agent went, he's definitely afraid of cats. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Dogs, I get. That's the first time I've seen somebody afraid of cats. Oh. Yeah, I don't have any good cat stories.
No.
Because who does? It's a cat.
Yeah, they're just gross.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel about cats anyway. I'm just like, dirty little animals.
You're a dirty little animal. God, that's clearly ailurophobia. God, you're an idiot.
Ailurophobia?
Yeah. That's a dumb thing to be afraid of.
I think they have a phobia for everything.
This one's pretty cool. So, first was a home that only had exterior photos, which I thought was odd as a buyer's agent. Seller's agent wouldn't give me much to go off of, so we just made the appointment. As we start to walk through the house, everything outside looks normal. It looks like it's been taken care of. No repairs needed. Then we go inside. Inside this house, every room was clown themed. Thousands and thousands of clown dolls across every room. Circus clowns, sad clowns, happy clowns. Never have I seen a client say no faster. I literally opened the door. The wife said I would rather burn the house to the ground than step in that nightmare. And the husband fell down laughing. That's the end of that story. That's just a good clown house. Another one who had a seller agent decide to post photos of the garden, which was giant marijuana plants grown in the backyard in a state where you still get 3 to 5 years for growing. This is a whole nother one. Okay, so the same person said, I was going to preview a home and walk to the home right before a guy went to hang himself. So as I opened the door, I saw him kicking the chair out from under him and drop, and I had to hold him up and scream for help until someone came to cut the rope to get him down. That's fucked up. That's really messed up. I don't want to walk in on like an active suicide happening.
Ooh.
That's so much worse to me than walking in on somebody who's already done it.
Right?
Because if they're already gone, they're gone. You just go, oh, that's messed up, but they're gone. But like, if they just kick the chair out,
Right.
You are morally obligated to stop that person from dying.
I wonder, like, as they were like holding on to them, like trying to just like brace them up. I wonder if the person was like still kicking,
Yeah.
or if the
Fighting
natural,
them?
yeah, or if the natural like reality kept in, like, oh, that hurt my neck, and I don't want to die,
That's a good question.
or like if it, we may have to ask them for a follow up. Like, I wonder if they're like, thank you, or if they were like, bastard, you saved me.
To walk in on someone as they kick the chair out from under them.
Shout out to Bon Jovi for saving the person in Nashville from committing suicide.
Bon Jovi still got it. I hate Nashville. I hate Nashville so very much. But it was really cool to see a woman trying to jump off a bridge in downtown Nashville, and Bon Jovi stepped in to save the day. That was really cool.
That's amazing.
No, that clown house reminded me. It was another one that we didn't buy, but it was a weird situation because it was a huge house in a really good part of town, and there was a brother-in-law that said the family had to leave, so we know what we got because it was probably worth $600,000 or $700,000. I don't know. So I go to look at it, and it was a big house. It's like 4,000 square feet. Looked like a normal situation. Kids' toys, well kept. Everything looked good. Go around back, still looks like an active family of 6 lives there. And so I went in through the back door. They had fled in the middle of the night, left everything they owned, left family photos hanging on the wall, all their photo albums, all their clothes. There were still groceries sitting on the counter waiting to be put away. They just left. And no one ever told me why. But this same house, I'm going through it, and it's creepy because no one does that without something bad happening.
For sure.
That's not a thing you do unless you have to.
Yeah.
So going through this big house by myself and then get up to a room that is not a child's room. It is not a room for anything. It is just the doll room. But it had shelves 1 foot down, and then another shelf 3 foot down, and then another shelf 5 foot down that ran the entire side of the room, like all walls. And it was full of dolls. And there were dolls in the middle having tea parties. And there were bigger dolls in the corner at a table. And it was hundreds of them. And that was it. That was the whole gag. Just a room full of fucking dolls for absolutely no reason. And all I could imagine was the mom screaming at the kids not to play with the dolls because those are her special dolls. But I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a weird one.
That is really weird.
I even Googled it. I was trying to find out if something, but I don't know. I don't know if they went into witness protection or what. But
I just thought about a cat story. So I went and looked at this house, and the guy wanted like the price of dirt for it. I mean, it was nothing. It was like $30,000, and he was like a chief of like the firefighters, like, or whatever it is, right? Not chief of police. What's firefighter? Chief of firefighters? I don't know.
Just make it up. It's fine.
Yeah. General firefighter.
Yeah.
Of the whole city. And so I was checking out the house with him. And I was like, Captain. Sure. We'll call him Captain. I was going through with the captain. So we were going through the house, and like there was these 2 cats there. And they had like crapped everywhere in the house. And he was like, oh, I just come over and like feed them. I'm like, good for you, man. So we're going through the house. It's like all hoarded, just overall just crappy house. Water damage, all the fun stuff. So we're walking upstairs, and I'm having to like zigzag back and forth to like step over like cat crap.
Cat houses are gross.
And then so go upstairs, go to the hallway, go to one of the bedrooms. Gross, a lot of stuff. So then I walk into this other room, and it's the only time I feel like I had like a paranormal event. Because I'm not big on that. I don't like overly like believe one way or another. Mm. But this is I think the first time in my life when I was like 30 that I had like a paranormal event happen to me. So I go to one room, and the room's immaculate. So it's still super dated, but it's like red shaggy carpet, nothing on it, perfect, right? Getting cold chills. It's freaked me out. So
it was a ghost cat, wasn't it?
Right. So walking in the room, there's a rocker in the corner again, just 100-year-old rocker, just in perfect condition. Walls are in perfect condition, and There's no crap on the floor. Well, I walk in, obviously just like doing my thing. I don't even notice like anything until later. But the cats stop at the fucking door. The cats would not come in the room, and they would not crap on the floor in the room. So I look over at the chair. Something was in the chair, because as soon as I looked at it, like my vision kind of went in and out, and like I had to lean up against the wall a little bit, because it pretty much just like took like the sensation like of my life like out of me. Very creepy, creeped me the fuck out. Like again, I've never had like any type of paranormal activity, and I still don't really believe in it. I was probably tripping balls.
Yeah.
However, like I just remember, I still to this day, like just looking at that like chair and it just being like, whoa, like that was weird. Anyway, I could not wait to get out of that house. I did not buy the house at all. It was a good deal, and for some reason, I think he was just trying to get rid of it.
What I'm what I'm thinking now is, I think you should probably do a bunch of mushrooms every time you go to buy a house, and then we should just record you trying to walk through a house, size up everything that needs to get fixed on it, negotiate with the sellers while on mushrooms, and then fill out a purchase and sale agreement on mushrooms, complete the entire appointment.
Yeah.
That sounds like
start
a really
to finish.
good, I would love to watch that. I'd watch the hell out of it. No, that one, it was another, I don't even know what it was. It was probably crackheads, but I couldn't prove it, and it scared the shit out of me. But
Crackhead ghost.
yeah, well, I was carrying 2x4s in and stacking them upstairs and finished stacking them, and then when I went to go downstairs, they just got thrown across the room. Scared the shit out of me.
Right?
It scared the shit out of me. I went upstairs and checked every room. There was a window open, but I don't know. That was no. I never saw a ghost grandma in a rocking chair though.
Yeah.
Ghost cat would have been a lot cooler. You really missed an opportunity there.
I don't know what was in that chair, man, but something had decided that
It was a cat.
It was
Commit. Say it was a cat.
It was parked in that room. It was King Cat.
It was the.
It was the chief cat.
That's actually pretty cool. All right, so this is an open house story from an agent. The brother was supposed to be watching the property and staying in the garage. He left his vehicle filled with garbage out front. It was a truck, and apparently it had everything that he owned in it, including all his garbage bags from the last 2 years in the back rotting. So garbage smell all over the place for an open house. Not only a truck, but had 2 trailers full of junk hooked up to it. I don't know how that makes sense. Went to ask him to
2
move
trailers.
it. You're just going to tandem pull? You're just going to stack trailers?
Yep. So it sounds like.
It's some country shit. So she went into the garage to ask him to move all of that. And there he is, sprawled out on some sort of makeshift mattress with 6 naked women surrounding him and empty bottles of tequila. All of the women started to screech and wail and run as if the cops had come. There were then 2 pit bulls in the back that lost their shit and broke into the garage to figure out why everyone was screaming. And the guy was so drunk that he never woke up. So the agent just had to deal with the 6 naked women screaming and the pit bulls running in trying to attack everybody while setting up for an open house.
Whew.
That's pretty good.
That is really good.
I like that one a lot. I've never walked in on an orgy. I've walked in on a lot of naked folks. But actually I just did on that last one. It was, I was upstairs and it wasn't a big deal, but it did just shock me because I wasn't expecting it. But it was a mother and a daughter and the daughter's wife, and talking to them, doing all the things. And I was like, cool, let me just go downstairs and check everything. So I'm going room to room and then open the last door and there's just a dude sprawled out naked, not covered up, just laying there.
Did he wink at you?
He did not. Thankfully, he was asleep. So I went, huh, and then just closed the door and slowly backed away. I went upstairs and went, don't you think you should tell somebody if there's a naked dude sleeping on a bed? You just sit me down there to just go see him? That's great. I think the funniest part of that orgy story is thinking of an agent having to deal with it. An agent dealing with stuff is very different from an investor. Investors see a lot more stuff and have to, deal with.
I mean, an agent not just like dipping out, like that speaks a lot in itself.
It's probably a selling point. You could just say, this is the orgy house. You can own the orgy house. The garage door stays open. Orgies 24/7 in the garage. Pit bulls included. $3.99.9.
I bet they were like the most like vile of women too.
Yeah, they weren't attractive.
I bet
You don't
were
read
like,
a story
no.
like that and
No,
they're like hot.
They would have thrown in the fact that they were like 6 beautiful women.
Surprisingly, they were all gorgeous.
No, they were like
No, they were skanks.
They were-
toothless.
they were
crack whores.
busted
Yeah.
prostitutes.
Mhm. No, there was one crackheady prostitute. It was that same one with the 2x4s. And she walked by, and there was another guy that was standing there talking to me. And she saw him and ran up to him, and he was excited to see her. And he was asking her how she was doing and if she had healed and all the things. And so they have their back and forth. She asks for money, he gives it to her, and she leaves. And I say, what the hell was that about? And he said, I was on Broadway about a month ago at a red light, and I look over and just see what I assume is her pimp just straight back punch her straight forward in the mouth and just drop her. And he said, I jumped out of the truck and started yelling, and he bowed up, and I had to pull my gun, and when he saw my gun, he ran away. So he went over to this woman, and he said all of her teeth were like caved in.
Oh no.
Like all the front ones were just pushed in, blood pouring out of her mouth. And he said, "Do you want to go to the hospital? Where do you want to go?" And she just wanted to go to the gas station and get some cigarettes, and she's going to be okay. So he just took her to a gas station, and she went inside, and then
So who is this guy?
I'm not going to tell you his name.
But he was like a seller or just a buddy?
No, he was just a guy that works for me.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
just another sub.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I missed that part. That's pretty good.
That was a good one.
Let's do one more short story, and then we'll wrap up for today.
I mean, there's lots of them about like half-naked fat guys sitting on the couch saying, "Let me know if you have any questions during showings." That's pretty normal.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. But this one,
Half naked. What was his shirt off?
no, just underwear. Like just
Yeah.
sitting there in his underwear on the couch,
That's
just fat.
horrible.
But this one's great because it starts that way and then they go through and then the buyers are cool and they're like, we do have questions. I'm not afraid to ask him. Let's go ask the naked guy. So they go to ask him and she said when they got downstairs, he had one hand like fully in his underwear and he was just playing with his balls,
geez.
scratching them, holding them. And didn't break. Just sat there with his hand down his underwear while these people are asking him questions about the house, and he's talking about how great the schools are.
So you know what would make that story even better if there was like a story where like, okay, you walk in, the guy's just totally normal,
Yeah.
sitting on like, hey, let me know if you have any questions about the house. And then like you're kind of going like room to room, and like shirts off, like all of a sudden, like. Imagine
you
if he
come
just
in, he's fully dressed. You
Yeah.
come back and he's naked.
and then he just as you see him throughout the show, he just like
he has less.
progressively just like has less and less clothes.
That would be really cool. Yeah, there was another one that I read that was short. It's in here somewhere, but they were showing. It was I'm not even, all those details don't matter. But she was showing a house to a family, so it was a grandma, and then the daughter, her husband, the grandfather, and then their baby. And they came in, and the baby had a blowout diaper. So the grandma is changing the blowout diaper, and she said it smelled nasty, and it was a really bad one. Right when the baby's dad's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then the grandpa goes, oh, we ate something bad. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh,
So
no.
the baby had a blowout. The dad goes to one toilet. The grandpa goes to another toilet. The water's off. So everybody just blows up that house. They fill those toilets. And then she said they weren't even out of the bathroom yet before we were opening windows because we were gagging and the wife was telling them to flush because it smelled so bad. And when they came out of the bathrooms, I couldn't find the water shut off to turn the water on to flush it. So we just left. And as we were walking to our cars, another agent was showing up to
Oh,
show the
no.
house to their buyers.
Oh, no.
And they had just done all that and left it all in there.
Oh,
It's pretty gross.
that is gross.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a bunch. We've got a lot of these that we could go through, but
That sounds good. Let's go through it next time.
all right.